Hey guys, what is up? Sam or Scorpiola here, bringing you guys a guide on how to complete the Blood of the Dead Hellcatraz Gauntlet extremely easily inside of Black Ops 4 Zombies. This is by far the hardest gauntlet they've released yet, but this strategy is going to make it super easy for you to get through it and get all those calling cards and the sticker unlocked, completing it flawlessly. I hope you guys enjoy this guide and it helps you out. If it does, make sure to leave a like, and we're going to start it off by going over the perk setup and all of the class setup that you're going to need. So starting off with your starting weapon, you're going to want the MOG. Absolutely essential. Definitely run the MOG. Trust me, it's going to be so helpful at so many points throughout the early stages of this. Grenades, wraith fires, but doesn't really matter because the Hell's Retriever will be picked up at some point during this 100%. There's just really no avoiding it, to be honest. And then for your special weapon, I'd recommend either the katana or the death machine. If you like the katana, go with that, but there is a lot of camping in this particular strategy, so that's why I'd recommend the death machine in some cases. In terms of your elixirs, I'd say some solid options to be running. Anywhere But Here is an obvious one. Every time run that. Burnt Out can help you a lot in this one in particular, and if you're playing co-op as you would recommend, I would recommend 3 or 4 player, then definitely be running Nowhere But There. That thing can help out a lot. And I guess Temporal's a good option if you don't want to be running any epic elixirs. Then in terms of your perks, I guess what I'd recommend is firstly, I would recommend Quick Revive because you're going to be reviving your teammates a lot, because chances are you'll be taking some downs, and the faster regen will generally help a lot at a lot of points. So I'd recommend that for your first perk slot. Then I'd recommend in your second one that you run Victorious Tortoise. The shield is just so helpful on this map, I'm not going to lie. And then your third slot, Dying Wish, obviously I'm sure most of you guys already run that perk all the time anyway. And then your fourth slot for the modifier, I'd recommend Stamina Up as a very solid option because of the amount of movement that you're going to be doing running about this map. I'd say that's an absolute crutch perk for this one. So that's going to be your full class setup. Couple of recommendations, I would have leveled up your Mozu by this point to try and get the Skull Splitter on it. That will help you a huge amount with the round where we are only going to be able to use the Mozo, which is, I believe, on round 16, which is a bit of a rough one. But don't worry, I will be getting you guys through it nice and easy in this strategy. And yeah, let's get into the challenges. So for the first challenge is to not let any zombies enter Richtofen's lab. This is pretty damn easy, to be honest, and it's one that most of you will probably not be having a problem with. Basically, I'd just position a player upstairs to prevent any of them getting down the stairs, and I'd position players on each of the 2 windows inside of the laboratory itself, and you can actually shoot zombies through the rock wall. Just shoot at them and make sure they don't get past that barrier, because it's when they get past that barrier that you will actually fail the challenge. So yeah, easy one there. Round 2 is player can only attack while jumping. This is one of the reasons I recommend starting with the MOG, because doing this with a Strife can be a bit of a nightmare. So just jump, shoot, and you can only shoot while you're jumping, and same goes for meleeing, only while jumping. So the MOG will be hugely helpful for that maximum damage there. And then round 3 is an extremely weird challenge. Movement controls are reversed. This is one that we weren't a fan of. Basically what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to use your wraith fires a lot. Just throw them down when you're in any sense of danger. The way this challenge works is your look is inverted and your movement controls are inverted. So for example, move forward will move you back, back will move forward, left will move right, and right will move left. And the same goes for your looking. Everything is just the opposite in terms of how you look. It's very weird, but don't worry, as I say, if you just try and get used to it a bit, throw down those wraith fires to save your life, will make it very easy, to be honest with you. And then round 4, weapons must be reloaded after every shot if ammo is available. So basically every time you shoot, you'll then have to reload again. This is another reason the MOG is so great, because with a Strife it's going to be taking you multiple shots to kill a zombie. So shoot and then reload will get very annoying with that. MOG being able to one shot and then quickly reload 1 pellet will make this an extremely easy one to do. And now before you end this round, I would recommend that you go ahead and with your whole team turn on the power and then complete the catwalk. This is just the easiest time to do it by far, to be honest. You're going to need to play it a little bit slower because of obviously that reload mechanic there. If anyone has the special weapon ready, I'd recommend they use that for this process. Overall, this shouldn't be too hard to get done if you just kind of take it slow, hang back, let the zombies come to you as much as possible, though you do have to progress through it to actually have the zombies spawning in. because then round 5, once you actually have that catwalk all complete and done, is to use the swordfish only. Now the swordfish walleye can actually be found on the catwalk in the recreation yard, which is why I say to kind of hang back and take your time with that one. Just buy the swordfish, or at least as many players as possible, and then once you've bought that, I would actually recommend you go back and open up the new industries building, because I would highly recommend that you try and fill up that dog there in order to get some kills charged into it, because you will be needing a Hell's Retriever by round 9. So work on your dogs along the way so that you don't have to leave it all to round 9. It's okay if you still have 1 or 2 left to do them, but just making progress along the way makes the whole thing a lot easier. And then on round 6, you're actually going to lose all your weapons, and you'll have an SDM only. Now this SDM you can only actually shoot when you're ADSing, so it's a little bit weird. It's really not too bad, to be honest, because the SDM is a very powerful weapon. If you have iron sights unlocked on this weapon, that will help hugely. Any kind of attachments bonuses obviously for this weapon will help, and you just need to kind of train zombies up and then ADS and then mow the whole horde down. You can do it with a couple of shots, trust me. And then round 7 is to kill zombies with traps only. The best way to do this is to everyone train up in that new industries building beside the dog head, and then just once the trap is ready and you've got enough points, turn on the trap, and as I say, it will mow the zombies down. It's a very powerful trap, that one. You could also, I guess, do it with the acid trap, but I would say the easiest way to do it is with that little blade trap. And then round 8, when you ADS, you will take damage, so it will basically tick you for a bit of damage at a time, and it will actually deal 25 damage for ADSing, so you want to avoid this as much as possible, pretty much. Just hit fire, guys. Even with the SDM, you can hit fire pretty well. Maybe go and buy the Mog back, that's a very solid option, honestly, because of how powerful that is. And then going into round 9, at least one player must possess the Hell's Retriever at the end of the round. So basically you have to get the Hell's Retriever, as I said earlier, be working on that along the way, and by the end of the round at least one person has to pick it up. I'd also recommend you build the shield pretty damn quickly and start charging it with souls, because you will actually need to get the spoon melee weapon for the round 12 challenge. This really isn't a hard one to do. All you have to do is, it's very simple, to give you guys a quick refresher. Build the shield, look at the numbers that are seen inside of the warden's office, go down, shock the panel, enter the number code that you see there and from the back to the front, and then after that the cage will fall, you shock a wee thing down at the docks and throw a retriever at the net that will come in. I know that was a terrible explanation, but I will link a guide down below if you do need to see it. It's the first chunk of my Golden Sport guide that you will be needing for that one. Then round 10 is to defend the roof. Honestly, this isn't too bad. As long as everyone has a decent set of weapons by this point, as they should, you'll have your retriever, you'll have special weapons charged probably. Everyone will probably still have an SDM and maybe one other weapon. Maybe someone hitting the box would be a good idea to try and get a Blundergat. I would also recommend you do the free Blundergat Easter egg to try and get an extra one then, because honestly the more Blundergats the better within this Easter egg. And yeah, just kill all the zombies on the roof. Everyone needs to head up to the roof quickly and just generally, well, kill all the zombies there. It won't be hard at all, honestly, guys. Round 11 is It's Black and White. This is very weird. Your HUD will disappear and the whole game will be black and white. And by the way, guys, at this point, you have completed the bronze section of the challenges, and this is moving on to the silver, so you'll get a calling card for that first chunk we just went over there. So you'll be in this cool black and white mode. You won't actually be able to see when you're taking damage, is the only issue. Just try and stay alive. It's really not too hard. The only difficult bit is you don't really know how much health you're on, and you obviously can't see your HUD, so you have that disadvantage. But overall, it's not a bad challenge at all, and it's very reminiscent of the classic Mob of the Dead Easter egg. Then round 12 is when you need to get those at least 20 spoon kills by the end of the round. This isn't bad to do at all, honestly. If you guys all have a spoon, as I said earlier that you want to be working on that, then just get 20 kills with it. It'll still be one hitting, it's not going to be a problem. Round 13, sprint to avoid point drain. Basically, anytime you're not sprinting or moving about, you're going to be losing points. So just keep sprinting. Even if you're facing into a corner sprinting, it counts actually. So just keep sprinting, because you will lose 10 points very quickly. You can probably lose up to about 50 points a second. So you do want to basically keep killing and just get this round finished as fast as possible and don't stop moving. By the end of round 14, you need to possess a fully pack-a-punched weapon. This, if you can get a Blundergat, I would highly recommend you Pack-a-Punch this immediately, because, well, it's going to be hugely helpful to you, to be honest. I wouldn't recommend you upgrade it into the Magma Gat yet, but if you do, it is no concern. There is a fix for that on the round 17 challenge. But generally, I'd say this isn't bad. If you have a Ray Gun or a Magma Gat, then you just need to Pack-a-Punch it once. But if you do have any other normal gun, then this will mean you have to quad pack it, so make sure you're saving your points. And then going on to round 15, you need to defend the powerhouse. Now, this powerhouse is off by where you first turn on the power, near spawn. And again, as long as all your players are covering different windows, that's the best way I'd recommend to do this, really. If someone has the Magma Gat at this point, that would be hugely helpful. Again, I'll link a guide down below on how to get the Magma Gat if you don't know how. But all you need to do is kill off all the zombies within the powerhouse and you'll be fine. Round 16 is Mozu only, so as soon as you get from that powerhouse, you're going to run to where the second dog head is, the only classic location that actually returned, and you're just going to need to buy a Mozu and kill zombies with it. If you have that Skull Splitter attachment unlocked already, you really don't need to Pack-a-Punch it. You really can survive perfectly well without Pack-a-Punch it, and to be honest, even if you've just got some attachments on it, you can probably survive without Pack-a-Punch it, but if you would prefer to, I'd recommend you only Pack-a-Punch it once, because you don't want to waste too many points, because it's a pretty useless weapon. Then going on to round 17, you need to forge the Magma Gat during the round. Now, as I say, if you haven't already, then at least one of the players needs to forge the Magma Gat during this round, meaning you need to complete the Magma Gat quest. But if you have completed it by this round, that is no issue, but there is a little thing we're going to need to do. Everyone, basically the person who has that Magma Gat is going to need to build the Acid Gat kit and pick up the Acid Gat and then take it back to that machine where you built it at the ending, and then place it back in and turn it back into a Magma Gat. Because if you don't do that, then you're going to be pretty damn screwed, to be honest, because for some reason it doesn't count if you hadn't done it previously. It's a really stupid one, but just make sure you're doing that, because otherwise you're going to get a strike. Round 18, you need to sacrifice 2 different weapons to the Pack-a-Punch machine. So I'd recommend no 2 people. No one has 2 weapons that they really like, because you're going to chuck 2 weapons in the Pack-a-Punch machine, and the second you put them in, they're gone. So don't make the mistake I did and accidentally get rid of your Magma Gat. Just buy a crap weapon, replace one of your good ones, chuck it in. Well, obviously you only get rid of one of your existing ones. Buy a cheap wall buy, chuck it in, and that's your 2. Every player needs to do 2, obviously, but that's really not going to be a concern. You just, again, you need to have plenty of points. Round 19 is to survive the terror. This is a very weird kind of round and feels very inspired by horror films, where zombies will be going at normal pace, and then out of nowhere they will start sprinting at you like hell, and you'll be getting absolutely run up on by a whole horde of zombies. They will just suddenly start going really fast, so just you need to be aware and just try to avoid letting the zombies get close to you. That's the best advice I can give. Magma Gat and Mog Pack-a-Punch are both super helpful for this particular round. And then round 20 is to defend the showers. This is obviously the original showers area, which a lot of you will know from Mob of the Dead, where the washing machine was. This again is not going to be too hard. I would recommend if you have 1 or 2 Magma Gats, as you should by this point, that will be hugely helpful, because you can all camp in the corner and just shoot the Magma Gat. It'll kill all the zombies, and you won't really have a problem. Use your retrievers, your shield. If anyone gets monkey bombs at any point, I'd actually recommend them. They can come in super helpful. And once you complete that, that is your round 20 challenge, meaning you have the silver medal. Now onto our final 10 challenges, being the gold. This is where it gets really tricky. So the round 21 challenge is pretty damn hard, to be honest, being that health regeneration will only work while prone. So basically you'll be running around, you take damage, and you'll only be healing if you're in prone state. So the way I'd recommend you do this is you and your team go to the gondola, and everyone camps inside the gondola, and as I said earlier, take advantage of the Magma Gats, special weapons, all that kind of stuff. If anyone takes damage, then just have the teammates cover them, go prone in that gondola, and you should be fine and safe in there. And if things get too bad, you can just take the gondola to take you away to a different place in the map. Then round 22, your points will be reset to 0. This can be a little bit rough if you don't have everything you need by now, so before then, I'd recommend you spend all your points, get your perks, get your Pack-a-Punch, just get everything you need, because you're going to lose all your points, and then just complete the round. Round 23, only kills via weapons without attachments are allowed. So basically if you're killing with a weapon that has an attachment on it, it just won't work. So I would recommend again for this, camping, magma gat. Again, you're going to be doing that a lot through this. That really is the way to go. And again, for round 24, you can just stay in that gondola again, honestly. If you guys run out of ammo at any point, I would highly advise against using the free max ammo that can be get from inside of some of the cells. You just don't want to be using that yet, because that is going to come in very helpful. Later on, I'd recommend you buy MOG ammo, which is one of the reasons why I recommend using that gun. But your chances are you will be fine. Then round 25 is quite tricky again, is to defend the infirmary. Obviously the infirmary is a hugely claustrophobic phase. But again, as I said earlier, if you are using the magma gat, it can keep you covered very well. So you're going to have to kind of work out the best strategy for you and your team. I would recommend maybe camping by the perk up the back could be a good shout for this. If you and your team camp in that room and just, as I said, as you did with the gondolas, take advantage of specials, magma gat, monkey bombs, Hell's Retriever and shield. Remember, because you're running Tortoise, if you pull out your shield at any point, you will be invincible until it breaks. So make sure watch out for that one, that's very helpful. And then straight from there, you're going to need to sprint to the docks, because this round will be used the M1927 only. So everyone's going to need to sprint down there and buy an M1927. If you can get a pack-a-punch or two in on it, then that would be extremely helpful. But if not, then you may just have to go no pack-a-punch. It will be a slow round, I'm not going to lie, because this weapon is not great. But I just have your team whole separate up into different locations. Definitely don't camp for this one, because you will only be able to use that weapon. So yeah, train is the best advice I can give, and have some patience, because this is going to be a slow one. Then round 27, this is where I said that you need to be careful, because this is the point where all your ammo will be reset to 0. Now the best tip I can give is often you'll find max ammos inside of the cells as a free collectible pickup. What you want to do at that point is just shield blast the panel beside it, and then you'll be able to go in and actually pick it up. So you're going to have no ammo at this point. It's going to be tricky. So I'd recommend, if anyone has a MOG still, then they actually go and, well, yeah, buy some ammo for that, because that'll be very helpful too. Another great way to do this is to, before you end the previous round, is to put a magma gat into the acid gat kit, and then only pick it back up once the new round has started and everyone's ammo has been set back to 0. Then you can just chuck it right back in the magma gat thing again to get that back, and so that can kind of save the ammo on that and prevent you losing it. Also, if you put a weapon in the pack-a-punch machine and then end the round and pick it back up, that will also save your ammo. That's another great way to go. And then round 28, travel through hell holes before the time expired. Now hell holes are the little trap things around the map. These are the little grates that you can go through, and basically once every minute you'll have to go through any one of these things. So that's a little bit faster, you're going to have to be going through these things, but don't worry, it's not going to be a problem. You can probably beat this round if everyone's got magma gats in just a couple of minutes, honestly. So just as I say, be aware of that timer, and every time you know you're getting towards the end of the timer, head through it. Should be enough time for it to cool down in between uses, so you ought to be fine. Then round 29 is survive a hellhound onslaught. You're going to get tons of hellhounds basically, but this is very simple. Something like a magma gat or a MOG absolutely shreds the dogs in this game, so you don't even need to worry about it. Even the shield is a great option for this. And then finally, you're on to round 30. Congratulations, you've made it. We need to defend the warden's house. This sounds tricky because it's so claustrophobic, but don't worry, I've got a great method for you guys. Everyone by this point should have a magma gat. There's just no way around that. You should have been hitting box along the way. Get the blunder gat, upgrade it to the magma gat, and generally everyone should have one and have it pack-a-punch. And then I recommend you all camp at the top of the staircase up there. Use your magma gat, special weapons, as I've been saying all the way through, and you'll have no trouble beating that round. And when that is done, congratulations, you have officially beaten the Blood of the Dead Gauntlet. That wasn't too hard, was it? I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I'm just kidding, guys. I know this thing was a pain in the ass, but I know you guys can get it done. You'll get a pretty cool calling card for 3 different variations of that, and a nice sticker if you can do it flawlessly with no strikes. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more Black Ops 4 Zombies content. I'll see you on more Zombies videos. Bye!